Alex Warren finally addressed why Ed Sheeran stopped responding to his emails,
Literally, we're just having fun with our lives.
and what that moment ended up revealing about mentorship, fame, and expectations inside the music industry. Today's video breaks down the full verified account of what Warren said, where and when he said it, and why a simple comment about unanswered emails caught so much attention from fans and fellow artists. This is a straightforward look at the facts, the context behind them, and the reason this moment quietly resonated far beyond a single interview. This is the story of Alex Warren breaking his silence on why Ed Sheeran stopped responding to his emails. The moment unfolded publicly in late January 2026 during a media interview, when Warren was asked about his connection with Sheeran, an artist he has openly admired and stayed in contact with over the years. What followed wasn't drama or confrontation, but a calm and self-aware explanation that quickly made headlines. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of what Alex Warren actually said, where the comments came from, why Ed Sheeran's silence became a talking point, and what this moment shows about life as a rising artist in a fast-moving industry. By early 2026, Alex Warren had reached a turning point in his career, moving from social media fame into serious recognition as a recording artist. That shift became official when he earned a Grammy nomination for Best New Artist, placing his name alongside artists like Lola Young, Katsai, The Marias, Leon Thomas, Olivia Dean, and Somber. That nomination alone made January 2026 a defining moment for him, but the attention didn't come from a performance or a red carpet appearance. Instead, it came from a casual comment during an interview, one that centered on something surprisingly ordinary: unanswered emails. What made the moment stand out was not the subject itself, but how openly Warren spoke about it, especially at a time when his career was gaining momentum and public attention was higher than ever. The comment surfaced on January 29, 2026, during an interview on Online's Live from stream. The timing mattered, because the conversation took place just days before the 68th Annual Grammy Awards, scheduled to air on February 1, 2026. During the interview, the conversation turned toward Warren's connections in the industry and his past interactions with Ed Sheeran. That shift opened the door to a detail fans had quietly noticed but never heard addressed directly. Ed Sheeran had stopped replying to his emails. That single point, delivered without bitterness or accusation, became the center of the story. Rather than sounding frustrated or resentful, Warren spoke with humor and a noticeable level of self-awareness. He admitted that he emails Sheeran often, explaining that he reaches out whenever something even mildly important happens in his life. At one point, he joked that his most recent message included an apology for how frequently he writes. The exact line he shared was simple and self-deprecating: "So sorry for emailing you. My New Year's resolution is to email you less." That quote quickly became the most repeated line from the interview, largely because it reframed the situation. Instead of portraying himself as ignored, Warren placed the responsibility on his own habits and acknowledged that he might simply be emailing too much. The tone mattered. There was no blame, no frustration, and no attempt to stir controversy, only an honest admission delivered with a sense of humor. What made the exchange resonate had nothing to do with conflict and everything to do with tone. Warren never suggested that Sheeran had been rude, dismissive, or intentionally distant. He didn't imply tension or falling out, and he didn't frame the silence as a personal slight. Instead, he acknowledged three things clearly. He reaches out often, he understands how busy someone like Ed Sheeran must be, and he still respects him. That framing set the moment apart from typical celebrity headlines. There was no accusation to react to and no controversy to dissect. What remained was a candid admission that even successful artists sometimes overthink their messages and wonder why they went unanswered. It was awkward in a relatable way, not dramatic in a headline-grabbing one. The reason this moment carried weight is because Warren and Sheeran were not strangers. In 2025, the two had performed at Odyssey's We Can Survive benefit concert, placing them in the same professional orbit. That context matters because it shows this was not a fan sending messages into the void. There was already a working connection, at least on some level, which made the silence feel more personal and more human. Careers grow, schedules tighten, and communication fades. Warren's comments reflected that reality without resentment, framing it as something that happens naturally as people move through different stages of success. During the same interview, Warren also mentioned reaching out to other musicians, particularly those nominated alongside him for Best New Artist. He explained that he FaceTimed several of them to congratulate them on their nominations, including Lola Young, Katsai, The Marias, Leon Thomas, Olivia Dean, and Somber. Some of those calls turned into conversations, others didn't. That contrast highlighted something rarely discussed out loud in the industry. Even at the same level of recognition, responses vary, availability changes, and not every message receives an answer. The moment underscored how unpredictable professional relationships can be, even among peers experiencing the same milestones at the same time. The reason this story spread so widely comes down to one thing: relatability. Nearly everyone has sent a message that never got a reply, questioned whether they said too much, or replayed a conversation in their head afterward. In Warren's case, the situation unfolded on a public stage, but the emotion behind it felt familiar. His honesty stripped away the distance people often assume exists between celebrities and everyday life. Instead of creating gossip, the moment humanized him. It showed that even artists standing on the edge of major career breakthroughs still deal with the same awkward silences as everyone else. What matters most is what did not happen. There was no public response from Ed Sheeran, no escalation, and no indication of conflict. Warren never suggested there was tension, and no reporting has implied otherwise. Everything about the exchange pointed toward a light-hearted moment that took on a life of its own because of timing and visibility, not because of controversy. As of January 29, 2026, the situation remained exactly what Warren presented it as: a harmless, self-aware anecdote. At present, Alex Warren continues forward as a Grammy-nominated artist, focused on his music and career. He has not raised the issue again, nor has he implied any problem with Ed Sheeran. There have been no follow-up comments, no clarifications, and no public back and forth. The story remains a single moment captured in an interview, remembered largely for its honesty rather than its implications. This was never a scandal, and it was never a feud. It was a brief, candid moment that revealed how even successful artists navigate uncertainty, admiration, and unanswered messages. Alex Warren didn't expose anyone or air grievances. He simply shared a truth many people recognize. Sometimes you send the email, sometimes it goes unanswered, and sometimes all you can do is laugh about it and move on. That is the full, verified story behind Alex Warren breaking his silence on Ed Sheeran ignoring his emails. And in the end, it says far more about the realities of fame than it does about either artist.